No, what's up, man? Oh, the guy, the crazy age. No, no, no. That's way to explore. Watch this.
It's like a do not disturb setting for your mind, and it gets you focused in just 5 minutes using science and sound. Brain FM guides your brainwaves.
My name is Edward, and I have a question to ask you. What's the strangest thing you experienced? The world is a strange place. When I watch the news, I see programs where people go into caves, mountains, and even criminal hideouts. I, for one, don't need to do any of that, because what I'm about to tell you happened in the place where I should always feel safe, the door of my house. It all started on a Monday afternoon. I was parking my car in the garage after coming home from work, and that's when I saw her for the first time. A strange woman was standing in the house across the street, obsessively ringing the doorbell
Crazy people everywhere.
for the neighbors. This was the time they were picking up their kids from school, so naturally, no one came out of the house. I walked across the street and told her that no one was there. She didn't look like a salesperson or anything like that, because of the insistence with which she was ringing. But when I approached her to talk, I regretted it. Her eyes were wide, her gaze lost, and I even noticed that some drool was dangling from her mouth.
Excuse me, miss? There's no one home at this hour. They take their children to school.
At my comment, she just looked at me for a few seconds and began to laugh frantically, as if what I had said was the funniest thing in her life. As she laughed, she looked at me with a face of indescribable fury, while at the same time, she rang the bell louder and louder. I must admit that this situation scared me a lot, even though she was just an unarmed woman ringing a doorbell. Her terrifying look penetrated my eyes and gave me chills. I decided to leave the house. The next day I would tell the neighbors what happened. As soon as I got home and told my family, we all went to see the woman through the window, but she was gone. I thought about calling the police to let them know, but it didn't make any sense. Surely I would never see that woman again, or so I thought.
What? Who could it be at this hour?
When I woke up, it was after 2 a.m. Who would be ringing my doorbell so late? It was her, the same woman who had been ringing the neighbor's door. Now she was at my house.
What do you want? Get out of here or I'll call the police.
Hey! Let me in! Let me in now! This is my house!
Your house? You're mistaken. This isn't your house.
In response to my refusal, the woman rang the doorbell more and more violently.
This is my house! And I will come in! Open my door! Now! Edward, what's going on?
Anna, call the police. Tell them there's someone trying to break into our house.
I approached the door again, and when I looked through the hole, I jumped back in shock.
What the? Get away from my house! We're calling the police!
Suddenly, the woman began to laugh hysterically, the same way she laughed when she was at the neighbor's house. She was not only ringing the doorbell, but also kicking the door angrily. But she never stopped laughing. With each passing second, this woman became more and more violent. She started ripping all the plants out of their pots and throwing them against my door. The neighbors' windows were slowly opening, and they were looking at us with concern.
This is my house! My house! My house! My house!
Nobody knew what was going on. The woman ran around the whole house, looking for a way to get in. Through the back door, through the windows. She was just trying to get in somehow. Even though Anna had taken the children upstairs, I could hear them crying inconsolably. The woman went back to the main entrance and kept ringing the doorbell frantically. She was ramming the door as hard as she could while still ringing the doorbell every chance she got. I knew it was impossible for her to break down the door, since it was fortified, but I held it anyway. I was terrified. Terrified of what would happen if somehow this woman managed to get into my house. But after a few seconds of struggle, the police arrived. They didn't need to ask her what was going on, because as soon as she saw them, she ignored them and kept ringing the doorbell. She did not put up any resistance to being stopped, but for some reason, I could see how she forced her arm out and kept ringing the doorbell. The police told me that this woman had never caused a disturbance before. She had no criminal record and was not under the influence of any drugs. We never knew why she did what she did, although honestly, I never asked. Today, we still wonder what would have happened if this woman had gotten into our house. I mean, she wasn't armed and she didn't look particularly strong. In theory, she looked like a normal woman, but if you had been there, if you had seen her terrifying honey-colored eyes staring back at you, you would have understood that this woman was capable of anything.
Yep.
On March 27, 2020.
Ow. Ugh, why can't you just leave me alone? How many times am I going to have to block him before he gets the message? You gotta be kidding me. Again?
Outside that the street. It was last Wednesday afternoon. I was at work handling a meeting. About half an hour into the meeting, my wife, Beatrice, called me. When I answered, she sounded like a mess. She was out of breath and yelling into the phone.
Jack! Jack!
Hello? What's going on?
There's a kid at the door who
Calm down. I can't understand a word you're saying.
won't leave. She's scary looking and keeps knocking on the door. I told her to leave, but she won't.
Don't be ridiculous, Beatrice. What's there to be scared of a kid? Is this one of your stupid pranks? Cause I'm...
No! Jack! It looks like something's wrong with her. She has two.
Beatrice? Beatrice! Hello? That was the last time I talked to my wife. When I got home, she was gone. I just shifted to a new house, trying my best to move on with life. The cops are still running the missing person investigation on my wife, but her scream on the phone makes me think that she isn't alive anymore. I was having dinner that night while watching TV when someone knocked on the door. I opened it and found no one. The night sky was cloudy. It was so dark outside that the street lights were having difficulty holding their ground. I looked around and shrugged my shoulders. I turned back to go in when I heard a voice.
Do you have candies?
I quickly turned around, but again there was no one there. Hello? Who's there? No answer came. It was only me standing on my porch in the middle of the night. Feeling a little creeped out, I went inside and locked the door. Nothing happened that night. The next day, I installed a doorbell camera to have tight security. At the same time,
Username. Wait. Oh. Mm, Username or Twitch username? Or maybe follow username.
That night, someone knocked on my door. I turned on the screen to first check who it was, and someone was standing in the middle of the street. It was a little girl standing across a lot. I could barely see her face. She seemed to be wearing a frock. I got close to the screen to glance at her when she rushed to the camera, giving me a heart attack. Ah!
Did I scare you, mister?
No. Are you lost, kid?
I'm Sean,
And I'm Elliot.
and we're the co-managing directors of Booty, a sustainable underwear and clothing brand.
Our old e-commerce platform was clunky.
Ask him about the candies, Lily. My sister and I want some candies. Do you have any?
The two conjoined sisters kept staring into the camera like they were staring at my soul. They had
I still have lost eyes. Why eyeballs? You even look like a ghost or something. What are these things now? I didn't even see the end of the browser, but those two joint systems are scary as hell.
thick metal braces on, and I'd never seen them before. Kids, do your parents know you're out?
Why don't you let us in? It's cold outside.
Now, as much
I forgot if I was mad. Trust me. For that guy, I'm not very many. There's something else.
as I wanted to help those kids, I couldn't shake off the weird vibes they were giving me. They looked like 6-year-olds, but the way they talked, it was just all very creepy. Do you need me to call the police?
No.
They can help you get back home.
We just want candies. Let us in. Let us in.
What the hell is wrong with you two? Go away!
You don't seem to be easily scared like your wife.
Just then, the last conversation with my wife Beatrice echoed in my ears.
No, Jack! It looks like something's wrong with her. She has
Two heads? Is that what she tried to say? Oh my god, did these kids do something to my wife? How do you know my wife? Tell me! That's it! I walked back to the couch, grabbed my phone, and started dialing 911. The sisters' faces suddenly changed. Their grins disappeared, and a creepy smile appeared.
Jack! Jack! There's a kid at the door who won't leave. She's scary looking and keeps knocking on the door. I told her to leave, but she won't.
The phone fell from my hand and crashed onto the floor. My body began to shake. The twins were talking in my wife's voice. I slowly turned back to the screen, drenched in sweat.
Jack, darling, won't you let me come in?
Ah! Go away! You're not my wife! They started thumping their fists on my door. Even though they looked like kids, their punches felt like a car was hitting the door. The banging was so loud that I collapsed on the floor, covering my ears with my hands and screaming. Go away! Go away!
Let us in. We want candies.
I don't have candies! Please! Please leave! Please! The banging just got louder. I could see those girls' faces distorting on the doorbell camera. It was like watching a horror movie. I fainted gradually. Who is it? The morning light from the window illuminated the living room. I found myself lying on the wooden floor. I was passed out all night. The knocking appeared on the door again. I somehow managed to lift my sore body and throbbing head to reach for the door. Opening the door, I met with my family physician. Dr. Patterson, what are you doing here? Is it a bad time to talk to you, Jack? It's about your wife. Did you know Beatrice had a miscarriage last month? What? Yes, Jack. She was 2 months pregnant when she came to the chamber a week before her disappearance. She was having twins, but the baby... I don't know how to say this. She was having conjoined twins? Did she tell you about it? No, she never did.
Why? Why? Oh no, good. The first no question about them guys. No, no,
3
no.
months before my lease ended at the last place I lived in, I got 2 new roommates. I'd been spoiled by the previous people because they were so easy to live with that I forgot how bad roommates can sometimes be. I was finishing my degree and working a lot, while these new guys were the kind of insane party junkies that get thrown out of frats. They would throw huge parties and trash the house every other night, playing obnoxiously loud music while I was trying to sleep so I could get up in the morning. Asking them to keep it down would only result in me being accosted by the entire party of drunks for being a downer. These guys really didn't live in the real world, and they made living in my own house a waking nightmare. I was stuck with them until the end of my lease, but it turned out that for another reason, I wasn't even able to survive that long. My landlord had installed a Ring doorbell camera before I even moved in, and all the residents were given access to it. I had the app, but I ignored almost all the notifications because it was always just droves of drunken party guests. One night, however, I got a notification at 5 o'clock in the morning, well after the partying had ended for the night. I bothered to check and saw something that made my heart skip a beat. There was a masked man standing in front of the door, completely covered.
You get all your balls and letters from Target. What?
Head to toe and holding up a sign. It said something that only somebody who had been inside the house would know. You idiots get all your bowls and plates from Target. They stood there for about 10 seconds, then left without doing anything else. As creepy as it was, I figured it was some kind of joke on my roommates from one of their party friends, so I ignored it and got up to go to work. The next night, though,
Bro, what are you talking about? What kind of roommate would make up such jokes like that?
it happened again. I could tell it was somebody else, and they were wearing a purge mask instead of
Joshua, ne- ne- Joshua needs to buy toilet paper, toilet papers.
just a bandana. Again, they were just standing there at 5 o'clock in the morning, holding up a sign that said, Joshua needs to buy toilet paper. I crawled out of bed in fright. I'm Joshua, but my bathroom is inside of my bedroom and not connected to the hall. so that meant somebody had been in my room recently. I checked the bathroom, and sure enough, there were only 2 squares left on the roll of toilet paper. Now, I was starting to get worried. When I got home from class the following day, I showed the video to my roommates. "Hey guys, is this one of your friends or something?" They looked at it with stupid facial expressions, then looked at me like I was crazy. "What are you talking about, man? There's nobody there." "Yeah, that must have been the wind." The wind? Come on, are you both blind? There's a person standing right there. Look! Chill out, bro. I'm looking, and I'm looking at nothing. It's just the street. Seriously, dude, are you feeling alright? You're kinda scaring me. I don't want to have a crazy roommate. Crazy? I'm not crazy. But all the 2 of them did was try to convince me I was schizophrenic. I intended to send the video to other people, but I ended up getting sidetracked with chores, and then work.
You will see the comments section. You can open the section. Last story, we should call the police on them so they can see how funny it really is. However, is behind this channel needs to have their own television series because this is so awesome. Yeah, you will infection.
And ended up forgetting about it. Sure enough, the next night, at the same time, it happened again. It was another person, covered head to toe in clothes, but wearing a Guy Faux mask, and he wasn't holding a sign. Instead, his face was right up against the camera, and he was saying something.
"Hey, Jonathan. Sleeping well? I came to tell you something. There's this friend of mine who's really got it out for you in a special kind of way. He's been watching you for days. He knows you do a good job washing between your cheeks. He knows you haven't had a girl over in weeks. And he knows you leave Cheeto crumbs in your sheets. Actually, he's watching you from the closet right now. Well, that's all for now. Good night. Sleep tight."
My blood turned to ice. I turned on my phone's flashlight and slowly got out of bed, shaking like a leaf. I crept up to the closet and threw open the door, but there was nobody in there. Nothing except a little piece of paper with the words, "Look behind you," written on it. I jerked my head back and almost had a heart attack. There was someone staring at me through my window. The same guy who was at my door wearing that stupid mask. I shouted for help and barged into my roommate's room, finding them both passed out on the floor. I forced them to wake up and watch the video, but they still wouldn't listen to me.
"Dude, there's nobody there. Leave us alone, you crazy weirdo. What's wrong with you guys?"
"Nothing! You're the guy who keeps hallucinating!" "Oh no, I'm so scared of my gang stalkers. Won't somebody help me?" "Fine, screw you!" I gave up on trying to get help from them and sent the videos to my landlord and a few other people. They all confirmed that there was somebody stalking my front door, proving that my crummy roommates were gaslighting me. I packed up my things and broke my lease the next day. Those jerks followed me to the door as I said I was leaving, grinning like total creeps. They opened the door for me and I almost walked straight into somebody who was standing right outside the door, right in the spot where those people in the video would always stand. And all 3 of them were looking at me the same way.
Wait a minute. It was you guys? What the hell?
Well, it worked, didn't it? You don't want to live with us anymore?
You did all that just so you could get your loser friend to move in with you?
Also because all you do is ruin the fun we're trying to have in the house. Now that you're gone, it's gonna be a riot every single night. Alright then, I see how it is. I wouldn't want to keep living here with you anyway. Goodbye.
Good riddance.
A chill ran down my spine. I recognized his voice as the man in the Guy Faux, confirming that those unhinged animals gaslit me to the brink of insanity, just so they could get me to move out.
I'm afraid can do that. Nothing. Yeah, people cockroach. Okay. Yeah.
I was flying solo to see family for Easter one year when I had one of the worst encounters with a creep I've ever experienced. I first saw him during my layover. It was in the middle of the night because I opted for a red-eye flight with a 3-hour layover in a small airport to save money. It was the first time I'd been there. The whole place was eerily empty and quiet due to the time and flight restrictions back then. I was hoping to catch some Z's while I waited for my next flight. I thought it would be easy. The only people sitting near me were a younger couple cuddling to my left and a man laying down to my right, who was minding his business perfectly and not bothering me at all. However, right as I was dozing off, I sensed an approaching presence and my eyes flicked open to see a guy creeping towards me, clearly trying not to be noticed. I froze with my eyes open and stared as he continued totally unfazed. Getting caught actually made him smile. His teeth were jagged and covered in thick, nasty plaque, and he had a huge broken nose with boils on the nostrils. The rest of his face was riddled with acne too. His hair was unkempt and greasy to match, and altogether, it looked like he just got out of high school after graduating on the 5th try. Before long, he was far too close for comfort.
Stop! What are you doing?
Oh, you startled me! Don't yell at me like that!
I startled you? You're the one coming up on me like you're trying to steal my bag.
I would never! You don't really think I'd be that type of guy to do that, do you?
I was so floored by how ridiculous he was that I couldn't think of anything to say. He used the pause as an opportunity to sit right next to me.
Excuse me? Did I say you could sit next to me?
Don't be such a Karen. Well, actually, you look more like a Stacy in those pajama pants.
Don't look at my pants. I don't want to talk to you. I'm trying to sleep.
I just wanted to ask if you were also going to Boston. But it's a silly question, isn't it? Why else would you be?
Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a 3D model using just one image. And the best part, you can use the model in any 3D
waiting for the plane to Boston.
Leave me alone already before I pepper spray you, you creep!
You don't have any pepper spray. The TSA confiscated it. Remember? You're unarmed, sugar.
Suddenly, the blood drained from my face. How did he know that? I kept thinking. He must have been behind me in the security line at the last airport. which meant he'd been following me and watching me the whole time. Right about then is when I reached over and shook the man sleeping next to me until he woke up.
Are you threatening me?
Huh? What's going on?
Babe, this man is making me uncomfortable.
What? Who? Come on, man. Who do you think you are? That's my wife you're talking to. Get out of here before we have a problem, you greasy loser.
Thankfully, the creep didn't talk back and walked away pouting. I'd never spoken to that other guy in my life, but I'm glad he was quick to see what was going on and helped me out. I thanked him profusely for pretending to be my husband for a moment. Then I let him go back to sleep. I was not able to relax after that, however. The whole time, I could see that ugly jerk staring at me from the next gate over. I hoped that he wasn't about to get on the same flight as me, but despite my prayers, when they called us to board, he got in line behind me. I breathed a sigh of relief when it turned out he booked a ticket for a seat 10 rows in front of mine. Otherwise, I would have been stuck with him breathing down my neck for the entire flight. It was about 3 in the morning when we finally took off, and I was exhausted. A few minutes into the air and I finally got comfortable enough to fall asleep. I ended up being out for the entire flight. I woke up a few minutes before landing to the sound of the flight attendants chattering about refreshments and flight procedures. But to my utter terror, when I opened my eyes, I saw that same creep staring directly at me just inches from my face. I jumped up and gasped.
Oh, what's wrong with you? How long have you been sitting there?
Not long. Just a couple of hours.
You mean the entire flight? Why can't you get away from me?
I immediately reached up to press the button to call the flight attendant, but he grabbed my wrist and held my hand back.
I fell in love with you the moment I saw you. Whatever you need, please let me get it for you.
I don't love the one with the food. Give me a yes.
Clearly that husband of yours is no good.
I took great pleasure in slapping him across the face.
I need you to leave.
Unfortunately, the sicko seemed to enjoy that a little more than I expected.
So you really do have some Boston in you. That's good. Why don't I show you my favorite bar once we land? I can drive us there so you don't have to call a ride.
Luckily, a flight attendant finally showed up in response to my shouting.
Excuse me, is everything all right here?
Yes, everything is fine. Please go away.
This man is assaulting me. Tell him to go back to his seat, or I don't care what you do, just get him away from me. Sir, I will have to ask you to return to your seat. It was up in the 3rd row, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I guess you're right. That's my wife, by the way.
He's lying. Please, you have to listen to me.
I told the flight attendant everything, and thankfully, she took serious interest. And Casey followed me off the plane. She called airport security and requested a guard to escort me until I left the airport. I thanked her 1,000 times, but I still couldn't rest until my brother picked me up and got me out of there.
Good afternoon, passengers. This is your captain speaking. First, I'd like to welcome everyone on.
Would you like some wine, sir?
Sure, hit me.
Is everything comfortable, sir?
Well, I was thinking if you had any other seat.
Today's your lucky day, sir. We just got an upgrade on that row. If you want...
I'll take anything.
Please, follow me.
Not that good either.
Sorry, sir. This is what we have.
Fine. Ma'am? Hello? Ma'am!
Ah! What? Where? Who? Good Lord! Are you trying to kill this poor, beautiful lady?
That wasn't my intention. All I want is to sit down on my seat.
Do you have no regard for people's feelings? I guess women these days are so cheap that men have stopped respecting them.
Enough! Just move away so I can sit! Ah! What the hell?
Did I scare you?
Just stay the heck away from me, okay? You don't want to mess with me.
My inner voices told me to tell you. You had beautiful eyes.
What?
Yes, you'll make a beautiful corpse.
Ah!
Sir? Sir, are you okay? Do you feel sick? Do you need a doctor?
Where did that lady go?
Which lady, sir?
The one who was sitting here when you changed my seat.
I'm sorry, but you must have been mistaken. You were sitting here from the very beginning, sir. This is your seat.
What the? This is my seat. Did I just dream it all?
Sir, if you need a doctor, we can...
No, I'm fine. How long till landing?
Not much longer, sir. Just press the bell if you need anything.
Cool, I'll meet you all at your place then. Don't tell others. I want a surprise. Wait, is this even real? Am I still dreaming? Okay, definitely not a dream. Why is she staring like that? Where do you want to go? Huh? Your address. Do you want this cab? Yes.
Guys, can you believe these videos are generated by an AI called Vidu? It can create unbelievably realistic videos from just text.
Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. I lived here with my parents until I left for college. The city hasn't changed a bit. Maybe, but it isn't safe anymore like it used to be. Why do you say that? Nothing. Just some rumors going around. I'm not even sure if they're true. What rumor? The one about the dancing lady. Sorry, what? We shouldn't be talking about her at night. Why? Who is she anyway? Some people have seen her on the street at night. She would dance facing her back. Her hands will be dangling in the air and she'll move on her toes from one side to the other. No one has seen her face, because when she chased them, all they did was run. What bullcrap. Just drive, I have to be somewhere. Here you go. Thanks. This city'll never change, neither will its people. Stupid morons. Dancing lady my foot. What the? Why is she dancing like that? Is this all happening, or am I just losing my mind? She was right there, right? What's happening to me?
Are you looking for me?
The story you just saw is loosely based on the trending rumors going around the internet about the Serbian dancing lady. One TikToker uploaded the first footage of his encounter with the creepy lady at night. The guy was walking with his mother when they saw a distant figure dancing in a weird fashion. When the lady noticed their presence, she charged towards them, shouting profanities and claiming to be the ambassador of death. The TikToker claims that the lady shouted that his mother's life was needed for an ancient ritual to resurrect the king of Serbia. The figure's movement, he said, did not seem like that of a human, but was so entrancing, as if moving every muscle in her body. So, do you think the Serbian dancing lady is some urban legend, or a real creep lurking in the deserted streets in the middle of the night?
It happened 2 years ago. I went on a business trip to a country in the Middle East. I stayed at a prestigious hotel for 4 days during my time there. When I was finally ready to head back to the US, I booked a flight with a 6 p.m. departure time. That evening, I remember checking out of the hotel. I walked out of the hotel with my luggage in one hand and my cell phone in the other. I was on a call with my boss while I waited for a cab to take me to the airport. I didn't have to wait for long though. In a matter of minutes, the dingy cab rolled by. Its tires were shot. Its windshield was cracked, and a trail of black smoke sputtered from its exhaust pipe. The cab driver didn't look any better. He was a short man with a pale, puffy face and bulging eye bags. A deep scar ran across his speckled face, and 3 of the fingers on his left hand were missing. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have gotten into the cab, even at gunpoint, but I was so distracted by my call, I hardly noticed it until it was too late.
Take me to the airport.
I said to him as I sat in the back seat.
We will arrive at the airport in 5 minutes.
The man grunted. While yammering over the phone, I carelessly placed my passport on the armrest. Secretly, the cab driver pilfered it and slipped it into his pocket.
We are here,
he said as we arrived at the airport. Without saying another word, I flung him a $10 bill and made my way towards the airport entrance.
Have a nice flight.
He cut me a worrying smile as I walked off. When I entered the airport, I briskly went to the checking area, but when the airport staff requested my passport, I didn't have it. I turned my luggage inside out and almost stripped to my boxer shorts, searching for it, but it was nowhere to be found.
Gosh darn it, where did I drop that thing?
I raced outside and checked for the cab that brought me, but it was long gone. The plane was boarding, and I still hadn't checked in yet. I felt like I was losing my mind.
You don't understand. I have to be on that flight.
I begged and pleaded, but it was no use. The plane left without me. The only way to fix the problem was to go to the American Embassy, and it was already 8 p.m. Even at that, a new passport would take weeks to prepare. Embarrassed and exhausted, I left the airport and went outside to hail another taxi. Then, lo and behold, the cab from earlier was right there, waiting for me.
My friend, what happened? You did not travel again?
He asked, pretending to care.
No, it's silly, but I lost my passport. Did you happen to see it in your cab?
I'm so sorry, my friend, but I did not. What will you do now?
Like most entrepreneurs, Alex has one crystal clear goal: make money. But how does the money come in? That shows expert.
I don't know. Guess I'll return to the hotel and then apply for a new one tomorrow.
Good idea. I tell you what, I pity you. I drive you back to the hotel free of charge. What do you say?
I'm not sure why,